Hey, how's it going, you guys? It's petplatypus here, and it's time to review episodes 14 and 15 of Jojo. I missed 14 last week, but I figured if I was going to miss an episode, it might as well be that one, because I can review it with 15, because it's Justice Part 1 and Part 2. So, yeah, this episode basically, we get them driving, they stop by a town on their journey that's filled with fog and mist, and they don't know what the fuck's going on. Jotaro sees a dead dog on the way there, sees the very same dog in the city. All the people are gross and freaky. Dude's got roaches on him. Bitch has this weird infection all over her face. One dude is dead on the ground, covered in holes but no blood, which was hilarious when Paul Nareff compared that to fucking Tom and Jerry, fucking cheese with holes in it. That was great. I love Tom and Jerry, by the way. It's a great cartoon. So yeah, that's basically the mysterious setup of the episode. Now, originally what I thought, because we see Joseph try to get in the Jeep, but it doesn't work. Or not, it doesn't work, but he tries to get in the Jeep and it turns out to be a fence in front of him that he would stab himself on. So he has to quickly use Purple Hermit, which that scene had ridiculous hype, by the way. That was crazy. That was really hyped for some reason. Like, really dramatic. But, yeah, he messed up. He didn't go inside the car. He thought the car was there, but it wasn't. It was like an illusion. And we see Jotaro. He sees the same dog that he thought was dead. Now, what I thought was happening was that the fog was like creating booby traps out of their memories. Like, Joseph had memory of the Jeep. He thought he was getting in the Jeep, but it was an illusion to kill him and land him on the spiked fence. And maybe if Jotaro had approached that dog that he saw that was in his memories and tried to pet it or tried to interact with it, it would be some kind of, you know, trap. It would be a scorpion or something with, you know, some kind of trap. But no, that's not the case. What really was happening was way simpler than that, but I thought that would be interesting. No, it wasn't the fog making their memories into, like, booby traps or anything. No, it was literally just, well, I'll get to that when I get to the next episode. Next part, we get introduced to Enyaba. Well, we already been introduced to her, fucking crazy bitch. But we get introduced to her, or she gets introduced to them. And the first thing I was thinking was, what is she doing with her hand? Because you don't see the one hand that's supposed to be, you know, reversed or whatever. And it turned out that she had bandages over it and said she burned it. And she almost fucks up and says Joestar, and, you know, she says the hotel that they're at was, you know, they filmed, like, there's all kinds of American, well, not American, but there's all kinds of pop cultural references here. You know, she mentioned the Beatles, she mentioned James Bond, there was that mention of Tom and Jerry, so that was definitely very interesting. Very funny, very different. And any episode with fucking Enyaba, or whatever her name is always going to be fucking disgusting, just because she looks hideous. The camera is always zoomed in on her, she's always doing crazy shit. We get introduced to Hall Horse again. He gets dispatched. He didn't die, because we see in the next episode, but you're made to think that he dies. And yeah, so, you know, that happens. They're checked into the hotel. You see the Justice stand do its thing where you get an injury and the fog comes in, it turns it into a full-blown hole, and then it can manipulate you, I guess by going inside. The fog goes inside and then manipulates you. I cannot talk, apparently. And Hall Horse basically shoots himself in the face, but not really. That's pretty much where the episode ends. Episode 15 is fucking hilarious. I loved episode 15. It was fucking hilarious. Oh, by the way, I'll give that episode like a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a little slow for JoJo standards, but not too slow overall. But yeah, 7 out of 10. This episode, man, 7.5, because they made it look like Hall Horse died, and that's a pretty good cliffhanger and everything. So yeah, like 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10, actually. Because seeing someone die, whether it's real or not, is a good twist, is a good cliffhanger. So, like a 7.5. 15, though, hilarious. Loved this. Paul Nareff goes down there, and he starts talking to her, and he's like, hey, do you have any family? Do you have a son? And he fucking totally murked her son, and she's freaking out, but trying to keep it a secret. And he's saying all this stuff and being such a jackass. It is hilarious. I loved that. She does end up trying to kill him. I love the scene where she drags Hall Horse's body under the couch. It was fucking hilarious. Like, this was so funny. Just the whole scenario. And Hall Horse comes crawling out. He's like, behind you, and he dodges, and Silver Chariot's fighting her off. She has a pair of scissors, he has a sword. Oh, it's funny as fuck. And then he hides in the bathroom, and we get the full... Well, before that, we get the full reveal that she's turned everyone into zombies. Everyone in the town is dead corpses, and they're being controlled by Justice, the Stand, which is a really overpowered stand. You get hit once, and you're fucked. It is extremely overpowered. But he hides in the bathroom. They end up catching him. He gets injured on the tongue, and she's gonna force him to lick the dirty toilet. And he's freaking out about it, and she's doing this. One thing I will say lasted way too long was her face zoomed in, doing all kinds of crazy shit with her tongue. That lasted too long. That shot was just too long, but because there was no dialogue, she was just doing that weird motion. But yeah, that was funny. We see Hall Horse crawling in the background for some reason. That was funny. And then Jotaro shows up. She falls and almost stabs herself on the scissors. That was funny. Like, this episode was hilarious in a very dark way. But then we get Jotaro, and he catches her in the act. He pulls out Star Platinum. There's this epic scene where the zombies attack him, and Star Platinum just beats the shit out of all of them. Very well animated. And then he gets hit, but he's like, of course, yada yada, fuck it, it doesn't matter, I'm Jotaro, bitch. And Star Platinum literally just inhales Justice. He sucks up all the fog and the stand itself, chokes her out, she gets knocked out. Hall Horse steals their Jeep. That's pretty much the end of the episode. And she's still alive, and they have her as a captive. That's not a good idea, because you can activate a stand very easily, so having her captive is kind of retarded. But we'll see where that goes. It was definitely interesting. Everything about this episode was hilarious. I loved it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It was well paced. It was funny as fuck. So yeah, overall, I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. Previous episode, I'll give a 7.5. And yeah, thanks for watching. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes in the comments below. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.